Studio microphone. Welcome to Breakup Cheater. Asterisk. If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're beyond grateful for each and every one of you. Drop a comment below and tell us, where in the world are you tuning in from? We love hearing your stories, and who knows, your voice might inspire the next episode. Let's dive in. My name is Dr. Mason Reid, and the night I told my wife, if you walk out that door, don't come back, I wasn't bluffing. I wasn't being dramatic. I was finally done being silent. What led to that moment wasn't some sudden explosion. It was slow, like a building collapsing in on itself, not from a blast, but from rot, rust, and neglect. Years of giving, of sacrificing, of shrinking until I could barely recognize the life I was living. When I met Savannah Blake, I was fresh out of med school, bright, driven, and drowning in $180,000 of student debt. My days were endless hospital rotations. My nights, a blur of fatigue and fast food. I wore my white coat like armor, my stethoscope like a shield. And then there was Savannah. She was lightning, confident, magnetic, beautiful in that effortless way that turns heads without trying. She worked in luxury retail at one of Dallas's top designer stores and could sell a $12,000 handbag to someone who came in asking for a belt. Everyone loved her. I was no exception. She made me feel seen, like I mattered more than the chaos I was buried in. She'd show up with dinner during my 2 a.m. shifts, leave notes in my pockets. Once, she waited outside the ER doors for 3 hours because I'd passed out after a 36-hour stretch. So I married her. We didn't have a grand wedding, just a small ceremony in a sunlit chapel. Her sister, Bree, weeping into her bouquet. My brother, Jonah, cracking jokes to keep me calm. We promised each other the usual things: patience, honesty, loyalty, love. And I believed every word. But life doesn't honor vows. It tests them. In the first 2 years, I buried myself in work. I didn't vacation. I didn't upgrade my car. I didn't even take a full weekend off. My goal was simple: pay off our debt and give Savannah a future she'd never have to worry about. She said she supported that dream. Or so I thought. When I told her I wanted to wait until we were financially stable before having kids, her smile faltered. "You're always calculating, Mason," she whispered. "What about actually living?" I told her we would live. Just not yet. But she didn't want a foundation. She wanted fireworks. She wanted kids now, a house now, European vacations and spontaneous nights out. Right now. So I bought the house. Took even more shifts. Said yes to every request. Hardwood floors. Custom closets. Imported tile. A kitchen Martha Stewart would envy. I was never home, but the bills were paid. The lights were always on. By year 3, something shifted. The woman who used to leap into my arms now barely looked up when I walked in. Late nights were met with silence. Early mornings. Just the back of her head on the pillow. At first I blamed the grind. We were both exhausted, right? But exhaustion doesn't explain why she wore perfume to yoga class. It doesn't explain why she started visiting her cousin in Phoenix. A cousin who, as it turns out, had moved to Oregon a year prior. She began locking her phone, then stopped replying to texts entirely. And worst of all, she didn't even notice when I stopped asking. Then came the night everything clicked. I came home early from an ER shift. As I stepped inside, I heard her upstairs, on a call. She was laughing. Flirty. Stop. "You're bad." She giggled. Then silence. Then a low murmur I couldn't make out. When she saw me, she startled. "It's just Bree," she said too quickly. She's tipsy. I didn't challenge her. I didn't have the energy. But I knew. The next morning I checked our smart lock logs. We had 3 codes. Mine, hers, and a mysterious third one used twice that week. Both times during my night shifts. I hired a private investigator the next day. It felt paranoid, desperate. But betrayal has a scent. And my house reeked of it. 3 weeks later I had everything. Photos. Hotel records. Fixed. Savannah wasn't just unfaithful. She was brazenly unfaithful, meeting up with Ethan Mercer, the CEO of a local real estate startup, married father of two, and regular at the Café Savannah and I once called ours. I didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't throw anything. Instead I waited. Let her walk straight into her final mistake. That Friday night, she came down in a dress she hadn't worn in years. "I'm heading out," she said, barely making eye contact. Understood. Only. "If you walk out that door, Savannah, don't come back." She rolled her eyes. "Mason, don't be dramatic." "I'm not. I'm done." Left. While she was with her lover, I moved west. Contacted my attorney. Reserved a hotel. Locked my credit. Froze the joint accounts. Because Savannah didn't know I had all the receipts. She didn't know I had already spoken to Ethan's wife. She didn't know I wasn't bluffing. She had no clue the storm was already here. By sunrise, she'd sent 6 texts. Asterisk, where are you? Asterisk. Asterisk, we need to talk. Asterisk. Asterisk, you're overreacting. Asterisk. I stayed silent. That morning I met with my lawyer, Diana Coles, a sharp, brilliant woman who handled celebrity divorces and political scandals. We filed immediately. The next day, Savannah was served at work. In her glass-walled boutique she bragged about constantly. She called me that night. Asterisk. You sent me divorce papers? Asterisk. I did. Asterisk. You don't have to do this. We can fix this. Asterisk. You had your chances. Now it's my turn. Then I emailed her everything. Photos. Recordings. The smart lock logs. Her messages with Ethan. She gasped through the phone. Asterisk. You followed me. Asterisk. No. I followed the truth. That week, I met Emily Mercer, Ethan's wife. She didn't cry. She just nodded and said, Asterisk, I knew it. I just didn't want to admit it. Asterisk. We exchanged information. Turns out, Ethan had used company money to fund his affair. Hotel stays, gifts, meals. That meant fraud. That meant corporate scandal. That meant leverage. Savannah tried to spin it. Tried showing up at my hospital pretending to be remorseful. But I gave her what she gave me, distance. And silence. She folded. She signed away the house, the accounts, and any alimony claim. She walked away with what she could carry. And for the first time in years I slept soundly. In my own home. With the locks changed. But this wasn't over. This wasn't just a story about divorce. This was about consequences. 6 weeks later I got an anonymous email. Subject line. Asterisk. You're not the only one she lied to. Asterisk. Attached was a video. Savannah. In another city. With another man. Which meant Ethan wasn't her first. Or her only. It was a pattern. A trail of broken vows, and now, I wasn't the only one following it. Then came the call. Asterisk, Dr. Reid. This is Detective Harlow from the Dallas Financial Crimes Division. We'd like to ask you some questions about Savannah Blake. Asterisk. Turns out she had committed insurance fraud. Filed 2 fake claims. A stolen designer bag and missing jewelry. No receipts. No proof. Just a lie. An ex-friend in the agency blew the whistle. And suddenly, Savannah wasn't just facing heartbreak. She was facing charges. 2 days later, I attended a charity gala for physicians. Guess who showed up? Savannah. Wearing red satin. On the arm of Ethan Mercer. No shame. No apology. She hadn't seen me yet. But when she did, her smile faltered. Because she had no idea that night would be her last moment of peace. Not after what I was about to do next. Studio microphone. This was Breakup Cheater. Real stories of betrayal, justice, and redemption. If you connected with this story, show some love with a like and subscribe. Your support fuels this channel, and we are grateful for every comment, every share, and every one of you. Drop your thoughts below, or your city. We want to know where our community lives. And remember, sometimes the best revenge is silence followed by a comeback. Asterisk asterisk. Until next time.